Hi guys, and welcome to another Barbarian video for Diablo 3 patch 2.2 or season 3. And in this video I'll be sharing a T6 speed farming build that I'm using on my seasonal character. So I think this build is better than the other Bulkathos build I shared when your gear isn't the best. And what we'll be using is essentially the 6-piece waist set. So you get the really powerful Dust Devils, and that's what gives you the bulk of your damage. And we also have the Bulkathos weapons, where you get Fury generation and 30% increased attack and movement speed. Finally, Focus Restraint, which is basically a 50% damage increase full time, and if you use a resource generating attack like Bash, you get an additional 50% for really high damage to, say, the Rift Guardian. And then I'm also using Chylanics Chain, which helps with movement speed when you use Warcry, so you get a nice boost for you and your group. Nemesis Bracers to pop shrines. And Pain Enhancer, Bane of the Trapped, and Teguk as my legendary gems. So let's go ahead and go into the actual skills. So I'm using Bash Punish because this gives you a decent damage bonus if you're trying to attack a single target like the Rift Guardian. But you can pick any of these other skills depending on what you're comfortable with. It doesn't really matter. You're just using this to get your Focus Restraint 50% up. Whirlwind, you can use any rune depending on your element, but most likely be going physical because of your Dust Devils. And then you can use Blood Funnel, which restores health. But I mean, I haven't used the other runes myself, but I could potentially see a Wind Shear or Hurricane also being viable. Hurricane will pull enemies, Wind Shear will generate additional fury. So that's really up to you what you do there. Battle Rage Bloodshed. It's a very nice AoE boost, so I recommend that one. Rend. I go Mutilate the Cold Rune so the enemies take more damage. Warcry Impunity. You can also go for Impunity gives you a lot of extra resistance. You can also go for Charge if you want extra fury for your sprint or whatever. That's again up to you. And I use Sprint Run Like the Wind, so you get 30% extra movement speed, and you get tornadoes spawning in your wake that deal weapon damage, and that will proc your Pain Enhancer. So if there's enemies behind you, they might just get finished off with this. You could also use Marathon if you want 40% movement speed instead, or something like Forced March if you want to buff your allies as well. A lot of preference here, so it's up to you. I use Rampage because this is a very high DPS boost, and Brawler, again for DPS. And then I use Weapons Master and Unforgiving. You don't necessarily need to use these. You could choose things like Ruthless, or probably not Berserker Rage because you'll be starved for Fury in T6. But you can change these around depending on what playstyle you like. I go for these because I'll be starved for Fury less often, and I just prefer that in T6 where you can always Whirlwind or always Sprint. So this build is essentially good if you have a decent and full set of items. So you need the BK weapons, and you need your waist set. Focus Restraint is a nice addition, not essential. You could use a different ring like Convention of the Elements and Unity, or SOJ if you don't have the set. But this will work essentially with the weapons and the waist set. That's the most important. Now if you don't have a complete set like this, another option you could, another thing you could go with at lower tier, Torment difficulties, if you have only the weapons, for example, and maybe a 4-piece, or maybe no set at all, you could use this Wreath of Lightning gem, which is essentially a conduit that deals a percentage of your weapon damage, or has a chance to deal a percentage of your weapon damage. And if you level it up, it also gives you movement speed. Now I don't use this in T6 because I find that Bane of the Trapped gives you more damage, and this helps especially in group farming. So That's why I'm not using this anymore, but it was very nice at lower difficulties, and it can be nice if you're after movement speed. And the same goes for these bracers that give you a burst of speed when you destroy things, and that sort of synergizes well with this gem. So I think I've covered everything. I'm going to show you a bit of gameplay now, just to show you how you guys how this works. Hope you liked the video, and if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. So the nice thing about this build is that you don't really need to go back after enemies. You just apply your rend if needed, just whirlwind through them, they will die. The focus restraint set gives you a very big boost. Without that, I would probably be hitting for 50 million with my tornadoes, and as it is right now, they're hitting for 80 or more, maybe 100 even if Bane of the Trapped is up. So that's very, very nice to have. So as long as there's enemies, you're not going to be running out of fury. But if there's a dry spell, you can just either stop whirlwinding and pop sprint, or keep on whirlwinding. It'll be up most of the time. I don't know if I remembered to mention the Nemesis bracers, but it's very nice to be able to spawn enemies when you click on a pylon. It's additional drop chance for gear and stuff like that. Another plan. So I generally don't use rend unless there's a powerful champion or elite pack. Another potential variant I can see is to use the Reaper's Wraps, which are the bracers that give you Fury when you collect the health globe, and then just swap to your Nemesis bracers when you encounter a pylon or a shrine. Because as you saw earlier, there's a bunch of health globes that would have basically filled up my Fury. Got an in-jum there. Speaking of that sword there that just dropped, there's a nice build using Furious Charge in that sword. But there are other videos discussing it. I'm not the biggest fan of that build. It definitely works. I have used it on my other character. But it's just not the playstyle I really enjoy. I prefer either the traditional two-hander, Raycore, or just Whirlwind. Whirlwind overall I think is better this patch, so at the end of the day, this is the build that I'll probably be using. And this build does work for low greater rifts, like up to mid-30s, I'd say. You can swap out your rings for Unity to go a little higher and make some other modifications. So like instead of run speed, you get more damage, more toughness. and I might make a video on that separately. But I think generally speaking, the 6 wastes 4 IK build that I have in my most popular video is the way to go if you want to do high grid rift pushes, because it gives you more damage overall through your ancients and more survivability through perma wrath. Since I didn't do this for the Rift boss, next time I get a champion I'll show you guys how the focus restraint set works. As you can see down there, I have one of the 50% buffs up but not the other one. So when you generate Fury with a primary skill, there's a second bonus, and those stack on top of each other for even more damage. Like right now my tornado should be dealing insane amounts, and yep, see how that champion just fell over. So if you don't want to just hold down Whirlwind, and if you want to periodically hit Bash, that is a thing to do, and theoretically you'll be doing a lot more damage that way. And I guess this would be especially useful in group farming where you need more damage. But solo, your baseline Whirlwind is often going to be powerful enough. So. There's definitely a lot of freedom when it comes to playstyle and skill choices, which is a good thing about this build. And I think that's the rift. Another room up here. Not too many chests in this one, that's weird. Unless I'm just blind. So that's the build, guys. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll try to help out. Once you get your BK weapons and the waist set, you know, you're in for a very, very powerful T6 setup. So once again, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys again sometime.